All right, so how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing good. My name is Anthony, and this woman behind me is named Bonnie Blue, right? Trying to find my remote so I can pause the TV. There we go. Now, I'm just kind of curious, right? Is shame gone? What was it? A couple months ago, I made a video about Lily Phillips and how uh, she had relations with 100 men in one night. And then there was, I think it was a Vice documentary where the guy interviewed her after and she was crying and they was misinterpreting her tears as she was upset and had regret. But if you actually watch the video, this with Lily, um, she was kind of more regretful that the men were more satisfied with the experience, not necessarily what she did. It's the media always playing those kind of games, right? They are trying to get you to feel empathy for somebody that really doesn't deserve it. So, then Lily came out and was saying she was going to do 300 as a warm up to try to break the record of 1,000. Now, when I was doing the research for that video, a lot of people were saying that, Bonnie Blue is a bad influence. Bonnie Blue, she needs to get away from her. Bonnie Blue, Bonnie Blue, Bonnie Blue. I didn't know who she was at the time. But then you did see those two hanging around a lot. And truthfully, they looked like they could be cousins or sisters. Now I was like, oh, okay. So Bonnie Blue is another British blonde woman who likes to get down a lot with a lot of peen. And, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Um, Although, since Lily was going to do, I think it was like 300 men in December, and then she was going to try to break the record in February. I even went into more detail about the previous record holder, which was a woman named Lisa Sparks, and how eventually she said that was like one of the biggest regrets of her career back then. Fast forward to today, it's all over the news that quote unquote Lily Phillips' friend went ahead and broke the record. I think it was 1,057, 1,059, something like that, in a 24-hour period. And I'm just curious, what happened to the shame in the world? It wasn't always a proud thing just to go around and just being promiscuous with a bunch of people. At some point in time, I'm talking about this woman right here, Bonnie Blue, who said she broke the record before her friend Lily. And I don't know. Oh, subscribe by the way if you haven't. But it's just one of these things that I just look at this stuff, and people are so quick to get money and to get clout. It's like a drug; they'll do anything for it. I remember back when I was younger, and when I say younger, like back when I was in high school, there, if you've been with too many people, that was seen as shameful. You know, now it's just like it's just a notch on the belt. It's like a pride thing. I think this woman Bonnie Blue, even though she looks kind of old, she's 25. If I remember if I read that correctly. And I was going to do a full. Oh, hello, Liam. Hope you're doing good, man. I'm good. How you doing? But yeah, but I don't know. I didn't see anything how what Lily said about this situation, considering she was going to break the record herself in February, and her friend just kind of went ahead and just took that from her out of nowhere, which I find kind of funny in a sense because she said she was doing so much prep work to go ahead and so much prep work to get ready for this. Up next with Lamar. Yeah, nobody's saying that. That's just no. Anyways, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just me. I just kind of think that whenever you cheapen yourself, because you may be young and pretty for like the for your 20s and 30s. And again, you may find all this fun, but you're ruining your body and your value. And it just, nobody seems to care. Everybody's living so much in the moment right now, trying to get this money as fast as they can right now. It kind of makes me miss the morals that we had back in the day. And I feel sorry for all you younger people, to be honest with you, because y'all are, it's already hard enough to have a decent looking woman. And now today, if you have a decent looking woman, she more than likely has been with 1,000 guys. Up next with Lamar. I guess that's just saying hi. Thanks for that. Hi back, man. But how do you guys feel about the situation, though? Just curious. And then, when I saw this situation, it made me think of my past relationships with women, right? When you get to a certain age, you don't ask a woman how many men that she's been with, right? Because you're more than likely not going to get the real answer. And even if you do, you're not going to like it. If she says anything more than three men, more than likely, you're going to be disinterested most of the time. So as the older you get, you just learn to say, don't even ask that question, how many men you've been with. The question more changes to, have you ever had any, or do you have any STDs or STIs or any type of infections that can't go away, or anything like that. The number doesn't matter so much. It's more about what you carry. And I say that, and I got caught in the mouth. I need some water or something. And and I say that because when I was younger, the number mattered. As I got older, the number didn't matter. But now it seems like it's the reverse. And not just with just Bonnie Blue or Lily Phillips, it's also the Dejanay Davis. I mean, she was crying on the internet all about being 19 years old and getting burned and all this other kind of stuff. And in my head, I never equated OF work to SA work. I never equated those two together. I always just figured that could just be, just Molly or whatever. So I remember, and I'm gonna bring this all to relationships and morality in a minute. And I'm not trying to be Mr. Morale or anything. Trust me, I've done my stuff in a day. But let me put it like this: I remember when I eventually got married, and of course, before you get married, your potential spouse or wife is gonna want to know how many people you've been with, what all have you done, all this other kind of stuff. And granted, my number isn't like astronomically high, but it was like higher than what she expected, and she kind of made me feel bad for it. But then again, let me put it this way: my number was higher than her number, unfortunately, and it was one of those things when I thought back at it, I couldn't really remember all the women that I've been with in that particular time in my life, and I kind of have some regret with that because if you really think about it, the amount of meaningful interactions you have with somebody is normally very limited when you're very promiscuous out there. And you think about what was the point of doing all of that, right? I mean, that short term gratification is going to make you pay in the long run. Let's say if you go on through this unscathed, let's say you go through and you don't catch a single thing by being with all these women or men. But then you also got to answer to the person you eventually do fall in love with and be like, hey, yeah, this is what I did. This is why I did it. This is a long time ago. This is in me now. But yeah, but when you have somebody like this person, this woman who's bragging about over 1,000 men, it sends a very mixed message when it comes to morality in general. Can I make myself smaller on here? I think I made myself go away. Oh, I didn't know how to do that. How do I bring myself back? All right, anyways, I can't make myself. Oh, I can make myself bigger, but not too much smaller. I guess it's not like TikTok where you can make yourself like really small. But yeah. And again, if you're watching, subscribe or whatever. But yeah, it's just it sucks. It sucks seeing all that. Um, I don't know. I guess I'm finally turning into that old man I used to criticize when I was younger. So let me ask you a question. Let me ask whoever is watching want to answer this. Would you marry a woman? Would you take a woman seriously? Let's say, 10 years later, and you found out a woman, had a gang bang, a GB, and was with over 1,000 men in a 24-hour period. Would you still want to be with that woman? No matter how physically attractive you find her to be, because you see yourself laying in bed, having that woman be your wife. Now, I know some people like to get down, have open relationships, and all this other kind of stuff. Even if you did, 1,000 bodies one night is a crazy number. That's insane. That's insane work. That's more than what most people have in a lifetime. Could you see yourself laying down with that person, comforting them, being there for them, loving them, and giving that? Because it's an act of choice. At any point in time, you could stop it. Let's say you started, you got into 10 guys, you can say, you know what, this ain't for me, let me stop. You got to 100 guys, hey, let me stop. And you got to 500 guys, let me go ahead and stop. And at one point that ever happened, you just kept going. To me, if you could do something like that, that means a little bit of you is dead inside. Again, that's just my opinion on it. So at the end of the day, I just have a question. Could you marry a woman that's been with 1,000 men? And if you could, how and why? I think it's very unrealistic in certain points in your life to ever expect a woman to be a virgin. Like if you are in your 30s and you're looking for a virgin, you're not ever going to get that. If you're in your 30s and you're trying to find somebody that's, probably been with less than 5 guys, um, that's good luck. The older you get, the more realistic expectations you have of women and how many men they actually been with. But and that's the poll I had on there. Could you be married to a woman that's been with 1,000 men? And it wasn't like 1,000 men in 50 years. Like she's a 50-year-old woman that's been with 1,000 men. There's 1,000 in general coming out my mouth that sounds so weird. And what's even worse is what kind of makes me think she's kind of a messed up person. That her friend that was going to break this record, she went ahead and just beat it first before her. Like why? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So if you're watching, answer the poll question. Like the video, comment, say something. That'd be great. Kind of want to have a conversation on this topic. I'm just kind of curious. Could you do that? Or that's just my opinion. I genuinely want to know because maybe I just too old school in my way of thinking. It's getting kind of late.